And I'm live. Hey everyone, for anyone who's tuning in now or later on, thank you so much. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about the seven fundamental needs of life. And this is based on channel material by Bashar. And I'll leave a link to that video at the description box, in the description box, so that you can check it out and gain even more valuable insights from this particular video. Because trust me, it was so eye-opening for me, and I thought it was so relevant, especially right now, based on everything that's happening in my country right now. So right now, like my country, I live in Kenya, we're struggling with floods, okay, and it's a really, really bad state for a couple of people, whereby you thought you're living in a safe neighborhood, and because of the rain tomorrow, like your entire house is flooded. Like it's crazy. Like your streets are flooded and all of that. You're not even able to navigate getting out of your home, let alone going to job. You can't even have a place to sleep. So it's a crazy time in my country. And this is what has actually inspired me to tap into this, because when I see those things and then I look at my own life, okay? And here's where most people are, right? We're so focused on what it is that we want, right? I want the money, the cars, the house, the materialistic needs, that we forget that sometimes whatever we want is actually not what we actually need. And I'm going to be diving into what exactly should be putting your focus on. And if you actually have these seven fundamental needs in your life right now, then you're already abundant. But what we've been trained by society is always to want and want and want more, never sitting down to actually appreciate what we currently have in our life. Because these seven fundamental needs are things that if we cease to have them, then basically for most of us, not even most of us, like we will actually cease to exist in this physical reality completely. So if you're missing these seven fundamental needs, like you will be non-existent. And whenever you're going through, the challenging times when maybe the things that you're wanting to manifest, the things are just not working out as you'd want them to, I want you to sit down and remember these seven fundamental needs. And if you have all of this, if you're able to put a tick next to all those needs, meaning that they've all been met, then you're good, and say thank you for that. Because without these seven fundamental needs, again, your life will be non-existent, and you have to really appreciate the things you have in your life in order to keep on attracting the more and more of what it is that you require to enhance your experience. Okay, so don't overlook what you already have, which is where most people get stuck at. Always looking outside and saying, "Ooh, my neighbor bought that car, my neighbor built that house. I want that. Why am I not having that?" Or seeing someone with a cushy job and cushy lifestyle and say, like, "I want that. I want to be waking up whatever time and all of that. Why don't I have that?" And you end up with so much internal struggle and strife because you're wanting and wanting and asking God and wondering why it's not manifesting, so much so that you even overlook whatever blessings that God has already given you in your life right now. And this is where my mindset is at, right? Right now, especially when I look at the state that is in my country, when I see what certain people are going through, and my heart goes out to them, of course. This is in no way overlooking that or overshadowing that in any sense. My heart goes out to those people, but it's also a great reminder for me to stop, pause during the day, anytime, and just live in the present moment and focus on what I actually do have in my life. And anytime I do that, I'm like, thank you, because I'm blessed. And I hope that if you watch this particular live, you're actually going to tap into that yourself. Okay. So let's get started. So again, the seven fundamental needs are based on Bashar material. If you do not know who Bashar is, he's an amazing, he's a being that's actually channeled by a gentleman called Daryl Onka. Check out his material because I love his material. He's one of my mentors. I love the things he shares. He shifts my perspective, and which is what I'm hoping to do when I share these fundamental needs. Okay, so when I list these fundamental needs, I'm going to list them in the order that Daryl Ankar gave to me. And he actually stresses that they need to be met in that order. And I'll explain more on that as I go through this slide, okay? So first fundamental need you need in this life is air, oxygen. the things we take for granted each and every day of our life. If you did not have the ability to breathe, if you did not have air, assuming that, like, let your mind actually register that right now. If you didn't have air right now, that was denied to you, how long do you think you will actually continue, will actually survive? For all of us, I'm sure just a maximum, just a couple of minutes, and boom, you're gone. Because we thrive, our body needs oxygen in order to thrive. Our body needs air in order to thrive. If that was denied to us, we will basically cease to exist. And these are the things that people take for granted, right? If someone was to deny your current ability to breathe right now, would you be thinking like, oh my God, I don't have that car. I don't have that amazing job. I don't have that amazing house. I don't have that amazing partner. No, your focus will not be there. Your focus will be, I need to breathe, right? So take a moment right now and just take a deep breath for yourself. Feel that clean air just fill you up, fill your body with the oxygen, oxygenating your blood, your cells, all of that. Feel that and really build an appreciation for that. Because if that was denied to you right now, you will just not exist. And that's for all of us. This cuts across gender, religion, nationality, race. It does not matter. If any of us, picture this, a world where all the air was sucked out of it, will fall down dead. That will be the end of our civilization. And that's not even humanity, all animals, all plants, all of that. Everything needs air in order to thrive, right? That's what we thrive on in this planet we're on. So if that ceases to be there, what will happen? So if you currently have that ability to take a deep breath in and feel that air rejuvenate you and feel yourself and all of that, then you're already abundant. And I want you to start looking at your life like that going forward, okay? Appreciating that ability to breathe. The second fundamental need that Bashar talked about was water. So, how long can you actually continue existing if you did not have water? Does any of you know? And I'd love to hear actually your thoughts on this. So, if you once you listen to this entire video, and you maybe go and share and check out the Bashar content that I'm going to share in the description box, I would love to hear your thoughts on this down below. So, share with me and inspire someone with your own stories or whatever mindset shift that you actually received from listening to this. Okay. So water, how long do you actually think that you can survive without water? I actually had to Google this when I was doing research for this particular video. And it turns out that you can survive a maximum of 3 days without water. That's the maximum that your body can actually exist without actually having access to, I want to say, drinkable water, right? Because here's the thing, 60% of your body composition is actually water. You need water to continue for your body to continue existing, okay? Without water, your body cannot exist. Brain and heart. Your brain and heart actually are composed of 73% of water. Your lungs has 83%. Your skin has 64%. Your muscles and kidneys need or have a composition of 79% of water. So picture just exactly, would you actually continue existing if you didn't have water? Like nothing in your body will actually work. And again, a maximum of 3 days. So water is a fundamental need. Do you have access to water right now? Things that we tend to overlook because we assume that the things that we are actually privileged to have are our right. And we don't look at it like it's actually a blessing. It's actually a grace to have this. If you can go and what is the term? I'm trying to find the right sentence for it. Like turn on your tap. I don't know if that's the right term, but anyway, bear with me. Like if you can actually go and turn your tap and water runs out, if you can actually look in your fridge and have bottles of water there, if you have a water dispenser and there's water there, that's a blessing. You're overlooking that because you assume that water will always be available for you, but there's so many people who currently struggle to even access that water. We're currently going through floods, and I know for most people it looks like the biggest curse on the planet. And I get it, right? Of course, who wants to sleep in a house that's flooded? You can't even sleep in a house that's flooded, and your seats your bed, all of that is actually merged or immersed in water. It's impossible, right? And when you're in that state, it's very easy to start um, looking at that. And I'm not removing myself from that equation. It's very easy to fall into that mindset of why am I getting punished? Why am I getting cursed and all of that? But there's always a reason behind that, with a bigger reason, a spiritual reason behind all the challenges that we go through. And if you train your mind to focus on that, on seeing the blessing in every challenge, every experience that you have in your life, trust me, the difficult moments or the challenges that you go through in life, they're going to get much easier for you because you'll always be tapping into that awareness of what is the blessing in this. For some people, I will say that when you see the level of unity and the level of compassion in this current state in my country is inspiring for people, that people have a genuine need to help those people in need who are living in those states, opening up their homes, sharing their food and all of that, something that probably would never have been able to tap into had this condition of flooding not happened, right? Think about it, like when is the last time you actually sat down and thought, like, you know what, I should go and bless my neighbor with just a delicious meal. Like, I'm gonna cook up a meal and go and give my neighbor just for the sake of it. But when people are in struggle, it's kind of like it helps us tap into that. How can I be of service? And that's why I will say like certain events happen in our world. We may look at it, of course, when you're in the neck of it, when you're actually experiencing the flooding and you're experiencing the landslide and all of those calamities and all of that. It's impossible for you. Oh, it's not impossible, but it's difficult for you to tap into seeing the blessing. But if you were able to go to a higher perspective and look at it, you'll actually see there's a huge underlying spiritual element to this. And it's usually to help us awaken those parts of ourselves that a lot of us have forgotten. We've forgotten who we are, which is unconditional love. And unconditional love has compassion, has acts of service, acts of love towards not just to yourself, but to others. And some of these calamities, they help certain people to be able to tap into that. Okay. So back to what I was saying, water. Without water, you can only exist for 3 days. So if you have easy access to water right now, say thank you. Stop worrying about the cars and the money that you do not have. You have air, you have water, you're already abundant. Okay. The third need that Bashar was talking about is sleep. Now, he actually mentioned this in the video that most people will assume that the third fundamental need is food. Everyone needs food, right? And I would say he actually says not necessarily. Food is actually the fourth need that you need, but the third one is actually sleep. How long can you actually continue existing without sleep? I know most people overlook that because, again, we've been trained to not sleep for enough hours. People sleep for sometimes 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, depending on the day and how crazy work was and how crazy your day was, right? And we tend to forego a sleep because we assume that sleep is a waste of time and maybe you don't actually have the time to just take that snooze for yourself. But if you've ever done that experiment for yourself, like how long can you go without sleep, without actually um good sleep, I would say, before you actually start feeling the effects in the physical world. I was actually looking online and there's a research that was saying like for most okay, I don't know if it's for most people, but I'm guessing the people that they were researching was within 36 hours you will have started noticing negative effects of not having sleep. And I'm not talking about the 2 hours you're gonna catch in between. I'm talking about lack of sleep completely. You're gonna affect so many fundamental things actually in your body, your cognitive functions, right? That's when people start having psychosis, right? They can't sit, they can't think properly. They're seeing things around them because of that, because of the lack of sleep. They have increased inflammation, which eventually leads to affected immune function and increase in chronic disease and all of that, just from a lack of sleep. So sleep is actually fundamental. Sleep actually is how we recharge our battery. So don't forget that we are made of energy. Yes, we does looks like it's a physical state that we have because that's the perspective that we've all decided to adopt. But in actual sense, as science has proven, we are made of 99.99999% energy. I always don't know how many nines are after the point. So forgive me if I'm wrong with that. right? But we're made up of energy and we need to recharge that battery. And how do we recharge? We recharge when we go to sleep and we connect and our spirit connects with our higher self. That's how we recharge. So if that connection is not happening through sleep, it affects your physical world. You will wake up fatigued. You will have no energy. You will have no ability to do anything on the physical world. So if you have that ability to sleep and sleep, okay, sometimes you can forego maybe a day or two you don't sleep well, maybe 4, 3 hours. But I'm talking about like the ability to not to sleep, like you have zero ability to sleep at all. And that means that you're awake for 36, 48 hours. You will literally just sit still. Like you'd fall down dead eventually. Your body cannot thrive with that. You need the energy, you need that connection to recharge your battery. You need to function properly. Your cognitive, your physical ability, or like basically the functions in your body will just cease to function if you do not have sleep. So if you have the ability to sleep right now, say thank you. Take a moment, whatever time you're tuning into this, evening, morning, whatever, take a moment to say thank you for the sleep that you had or the sleep that you're going to have. So that's a huge blessing. Okay. That was the third fundamental need. Okay, so let's look at the fourth fundamental need. Now, this is where the food comes in. Do you know how long you can actually exist without food? Funny thing was that, okay, so I was reading some research that said like you can survive without food for a week, without food for a week, and you can actually survive for about 2 to 3 months, a couple of months actually, without food, but you actually have water. That's crazy, right? Which shows you just how fundamental water is. You can actually exist with water, just water for 3 months. I want to say comfortably, but I don't know if it's comfortably, depending on who you are. There are people who are actually exceptions to all these needs that I'm talking about. There are people who've actually trained or designed their body to thrive without this four fundamental needs. And those are people who have a certain level of spiritual mastery or a certain level of mastery that allows them to do that. So when I'm sharing about these needs, I'm talking about the average, Jane and Doe, whatever. Like the average person, you will not be able to exist if some of these things are missing in your life. So when it comes to food, 3 months only if you have water. If you do not have water, the research was saying a week, which is kind of confusing because if you can only survive for 3 days without water, there's a question mark there. So I do need to do a deep dive into that. And feel free to do a deep dive and share down below what you come up with. I'm always happy to learn. So whatever information you have that you can add to this, please share. Okay. So 2 to 3 months with food. We need food, right? Um, fifth need is actually shelter, something that a lot of people take for granted, having a roof over their head. So Bashar actually went on to highlight that when he's talking about sleep, he's not necessarily talking about having a house, owning a house, renting a house, and all of that. It's having a space that you will consider an environment that's sustainable for you to actually live comfortably, to give you what you need so that you're actually able to continue to survive. So if you have that kind of space around you, whether you call it a home, whatever it is, if you have that kind of space with you, that is what you'll consider shelter. So if you have that, you're already more blessed than most, right? You're already abundant. Stop focusing on my house. I have to have a 10, 20 room house for me to feel like I'm fulfilled in life. When you're seeing the celebrities sharing their mansions online or all those crazy things, or stop focusing on, ooh, I need this kind of a plant in my house for me to feel fulfilled. The very fact that you have a comfortable space to put your head that allows you to sleep comfortably, that allows you to continue to survive, that's a blessing. It's a fundamental need. So don't forget to say thank you for that. In all of these states I'm actually saying, um, I'm actually sharing with you, remember to give gratitude for all of that. If you're actually putting a tick on all of this, please give gratitude. Right now, take a moment, pause this video, and just say thank you, God. I am truly abundantly blessed. Okay? That was shelter. The sixth one now. So now the sixth and the seventh, this is the disclaimer I'm going to give. Bashar says that it doesn't necessarily mean that if you did not have them, that you will physically cease to exist, like the past five. Remember the air, the water, the sleep, the food, the shelter or something. If you didn't have this, you might actually stop or cease to exist physically, right? The sixth and the seventh one, you could continue to exist physically, but what it will actually end up killing eventually is your spirit, because you need this to actually for your spirit to thrive in this physical reality that we're in. So the sixth one is actually connection. So by connection meaning you have to have someone to relate to. And by someone, Bashar actually highlighted that it's not necessarily another person. So this is where most people get lost, that I need relationships, I need to have a partner, I need to have, a mother, father, all of that. No, he actually stressed that it's not necessarily with other people. It could be with animals, it could be with the cosmos, your angels, your guides, God, all of that. It could be with your everyday, like the trees, the air, all of that, that connection. You just need something to relate to. And however you go about with that relation, it it has to be in a way that actually sustains you, in a sense that you're actually getting a reflection that allows you to be more of yourself. That's basically it when you're talking about connection. So whatever relationship it has to be something that allows you to be more of yourself, not something else, not someone else, but more of who you actually are. Remember, in my channel, I normally share that I do work with two modalities, one with which is soul realignment, which is all about connecting to who you are at soul level and identifying how you are actually created and what soul level traits you have, what soul level gifts you have that you can use to leverage to create a better experience, human experience for yourself. Every one of us is gifted in a sense. Okay, if you're watching this, I can suspect that I will say that a lot of people don't actually have the words to actually say what it is that they're gifted at. And I can lump myself into this sometimes. So I remember, like, there's a point in time you'll ask me and I'll just be lost in that question. Like, what's your talent? I have no idea right now. I can actually say it out loud. I know what I am naturally and what comes easily for me. Which for certain people, they might look at whatever they're gifted at as being not a big deal, but then you forget that what you can easily tap into because that's who you are, it's very difficult for other people to do the same. For example, the gift of communication, right? The gift of writing, the gift of talking like this, the gift of um, whatever it is, the gift of just using words in a way that actually moves people. That's actually a soul level gift. There are people who are divinely gifted for that. Yes, you still have to go through training to help you fine tune that, but it's something that comes naturally and easy for you. It doesn't feel like you're swimming against the flow when you're tapping into your soul level gifts. Yes, you'll sharpen them by tapping into the various teachers and the various courses that will help you with that. But it won't feel like such a struggle compared to someone else who's actually, divinely gifted in the gift of communication, trying to do that. Yes, they can. Yes, they can learn how to do that, but that's not going to come very easy for them. It's something that they have to struggle and struggle and struggle and struggle in life in order to attain a certain level of mastery. And often you'll find that people who are stuck in that, they normally look at others and think like, what is it that this other person has that I don't have? Guess what? They're tapped into who they are at soul level. You're just trying to be something that you're not. But if you actually look at what you're gifted at naturally, you'll find that what you're actually gifted at, what makes you uniquely you, another person can do that in a million ways. Even that person that you're looking at and thinking like, whoa, that person really communicates well, that person really writes well. They can do what you do. Remember that when you're overlooking the gifts that you currently have. Okay. So back to connection, it's again, connection to anything, not just people, animals, trees, air, whatever it is, cosmos, the creation itself, whatever it is, it has to be something that allows you to enhance more of who you are, something you can relate to that allows you to enhance more of who you are. So if you have that in your life right now, don't forget to say thank you. It doesn't matter if you're going to go and hold someone face like this and just say thank you so much for being my connection in this lifetime. Say thank you. Doesn't hurt. That's how you start attracting more of what you want. It's not necessarily what you need, But if you're constantly overlooking what you need because you're so focused on the wants that you have, what happens when the needs are actually taken away from you? That's when people start realizing, oh my God, I never knew what I had when I had it. I never knew what a blessing it was for me to open the fridge and have it filled from top to bottom with food. I never knew what a blessing it was for me to open the tap and actually have running water from come out of there so easily. I never knew what it meant. This is something that I will say, especially during the COVID period when people couldn't breathe with the mask, and even the people who are sick who, again, super struggle. But I know at that point, a lot of us were appreciating the times before when we could breathe so freely. And we take all of that for granted. So if you're watching this, this is a huge sign that it's time to start appreciating what you actually have. Okay? So now, the last fundamental need I'm going to be talking about today is called the ability to creatively express yourself, express your passion, okay, to the best of your ability. What do I mean by this? It means that now tying to what I was talking to about before, living authentically to who you are, tapping into your purpose, your passion in life and all of that. You find that most people go through life never having find what makes their soul sing. And this is, I find, a big struggle. Of course, if you don't have the first five fundamental needs, I would say it's very difficult for you to sit down and start thinking about what am I actually passionate about? Like, it's difficult, right? For sure. Like, if you don't have, yeah, you're not thinking like, oh my God, what am I passionate about in life? Like, do I like music? Do I like art? You know, if you don't have food on your table, your first fundamental need or thought will not be like, wow, today I should just go out and just dance for fun. No, it will be like, where am I gonna get my next meal, right? That will be your main concern. But when you have all of these needs met, the first, I want to say five, six needs, depending on where you are. Seventh need is that you need to find a way to creatively express yourself based on who you are, right? What moves you, what excites you, what makes you happy, and all of that. You know, a lot of people search for that sense of fulfillment, even when they're chasing their so-called wants in life. You know, again, the materialistic needs, you find that once they get there, it's usually like, okay, then now I have the money, partner that I thought I wanted, the body that I thought I wanted, but I'm not happy. What is that thing that I'm missing? And that is the ability to just express yourself, express your passion to the best of your ability, to find a sense of fulfillment, of purpose in your life by tapping into more of who you are. So if you have that ability, if you're supported in meeting that ability, then again, you are super blessed. You're already abundant. Okay, so if you actually will put in a tick as I was going through this list for you, so I'll go through this again just so that you can, I'll just recap through the seven needs. They are the air that you breathe, water, sleep, food, shelter, connection, creative expression to act on your passion and to be more of yourself. If you have those seven needs in your life right now, then you're already abundant. Stop focusing or putting all your energy into what you do not have. Stop overlooking what you're already blessed with. Then remember each and every day that you wake up and you have all of this. In fact, and a practice that I'm starting to tap into, especially during the challenging moments, is to take a couple of deep breaths in whatever moment I catch myself and I remind myself of the seven fundamental needs. I take a breath and I start going through this list one by one. Do I have air? In a deep breath. Yes, thank you. Do I have water? I have my cup of water there. Thank you. Do I have shelter? Do I have sleep? Have I slept enough today? Yeah, I feel well rested right now. Thank you. Do I have food? Yes, I have food. Do I have shelter? Yes. Do I have connection? Yes. Do I have the ability to express my passion, which is part of this, part of whatever I'm doing right now on YouTube? Yes. And if all those needs are met, then I remind myself that I'm already blessed. And I stop it literally shifts me from thinking stop thinking about what I haven't accomplished in life and really truly tap into the appreciation of this present moment. So I hope by sharing this, it has actually inspired you to start looking at your life. Okay, so I'm gonna end this live right now. As always, please subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet subscribed. Click on the notification bell so that you might get alerts of every time I go live. I do go live on every Sunday around this time, so please join me on one of these lives. Or even if you catch the replay, you can just let me down in the comments like what particular part about the video or the insights that I've shared in this video, or any video that you tap into. What did you love about it? Share down below, share your thoughts. I always love to hear from you people, from anyone who tunes in right now. And if you're going through those challenging moments, like I want you to just take a breath and just say, everything is going to be okay. So I'm here to just be the reminder to you for that. Maybe that was what the message that you needed to hear today. So I hope I've inspired you. Share with me down below what you loved. I love to hear from you. And as always, I do end my video by sharing how I can actually help you tap into more of who you are. So I am an intuitive energetic healer. I do work with two modalities, one of which is based on working with Akashic Records, which is actually called Soul Realm. So Soul Realm is all about getting to connect with who you are at soul level. Remember, we're talking about authenticity, being who you are, and stop looking at the people around you, which is what most people do. They assume that just because someone is successful in that path, I'm going to try that. And maybe that's not what you're designed to do. Focus on who you are, and what soul realm does is connect you to that part of yourself that you've probably forgotten about yourself, or you've probably been overlooking as you go through life, thinking that it's not a special gift that you are. But trust me, or if you actually learn how to leverage this in how you live your life and how you show up in life, you'll notice that certain aspects of your life start actually improving. So it connects you to your soul level traits, helps you understand more of who you are. If you probably struggle with that lack of acceptance, lack of self worth, lack of self love, because if you have no idea who you are, it can help you with that. It also helps to connect you to your soul story. So your soul story is basically going back to a particular lifetime that your soul started making, or your spirit, I would say, whatever you resonate with, right? Your spirit started making negative choices that actually got imprinted in your soul blueprint, and that is still affecting you right now. So a lot of the mistakes that we've probably made in our past life, we keep on attracting the same set of circumstances, the same set of people over and over again, kind of like a broken record. If you've ever got into a life where you're thinking like, why do I keep on attracting this type of experiences? There's a reason for that, and chances are they're tied to your past life experience where you made certain choices that you're still repeating right now. Most people without knowledge or awareness of what choices they made that they're still repeating, they keep on repeating the same mistakes. So what it does is that it empowers you with the knowledge that now going forward, of course, if you know that I have a tendency to attract these people and there's a reason behind that, now you're not going to go and make that mistake. Again, all power ends with you, because you have free will and you get to decide how to use this information. But now you'll have awareness, right? And the best part is that you get to clear this karmic blueprint within your soul blueprint, right? So that now going forward, you're not an energetic match to the circumstances. And if you now use the knowledge, use the awareness that you get from the reading to make better choices going forward, then you will no longer need to attract those experiences and those people over and over again, because quite frankly, you will have resolved that karma for yourself. So that's the beauty of a soul element reading. The second modality I work with is called quantum flow. So a lot of our deep-seated traumas, emotional wounds that we've had all the way from childhood, and some of us even from when we were in our mother's womb. Remember that a lot of our emotional or mental blueprint, I would say, we have actually inherited from our parents, who in turn also inherited from their parents, and all of that. And all of that is recorded within your nervous system, which is connected to your unconscious mind, meaning that how you show up in life, because a lot of people operate with unconscious patterns and they have no idea that they have these patterns, but it's actually how they shape their reality. Because if you have certain beliefs, like for example, about how relationships should be, how money should be, unconsciously you'll be attracting the same certain people in certain circumstances to keep on making that belief true for yourself. And most people are unaware of what these unconscious patterns are, and they're all recorded within your nervous system. So most people do is that when they start working on themselves, they just focus on their mind, which actually it does work. It's only that that takes longer because yes, you can rewire your mind, but if you're not rewiring those memories within your body, then it's gonna take much longer. And what quantum flow does is that it helps also to rewire your body, not just your mind. It still works on your mind. It works on actually different areas of your life: the physical, your mental, your emotional, your spiritual, your energetic well-being, right? So it actually targets all of this area by rewiring your nervous system, breaking down all this trauma that has formed certain, I want to say, crystallizations within your nervous system that's blocking the flow of energy within your system, within your body, meaning that you're constantly living from the lower chakras, which is all based on the negative emotions of anger, disappointment, frustration, jealousy, you name it, right? Fear, anxiety, all of that. So if you currently struggle with that, with the negative state of emotional, mental well-being and all of that, there's a reason for that. You could be having stuckness within your nervous system, and quantum flow helps to break down the stuckness, get the energy flowing, so that now you're creating a more intentional life for yourself and accessing better and higher states of well-being in your physical, in your emotional, in your mental, in your energetic, in your spiritual well-being. You get to wake up to a whole new you once you tap into this method and actually use this breathwork, sound, and movement to help rewire your nervous system. So, if you want to know more of this, please connect with me on Facebook and Instagram. The links are down below. You can DM me, ask me any question you have, or go right ahead and book a discovery call, a complimentary 15 to 30 minutes. Ask any questions and just see if any of these modalities will be a fit for whatever it is that you're going through in life. Also, you can check out down below and download a free sample of a quantum flow meditation so that you can have a taste of what quantum flow is, right? So if you're curious and maybe you're like, what is that? And you want to experience that first before you actually dive into having sessions with me, you can check out the meditation link down below in the description box. I think that is it for today. So thank you for so much for anyone who's tuning in. I will assume you'll be watching the replay of this. Thank you so much for watching this. Don't forget again, subscribe and also click on the notification bell so that you may get notification of any time I go live. And again, share your comments down below. Share with me what you loved about this. I'd love to hear from you. Okay. So sending you so much love and I hope I will see you on the next live. And don't forget to stay grateful for all the fundamental